I am Myssi Powers. I've got a lot of family members that come here, thank God. Um, my sister Jeannie, my mom Sandy, my niece Jordan, her husband Ty, my daughter Erica comes with me on occasion, and of course Jackson, Caden, Cambry, and Wyatt. So we all, congregate. I grew up with an alcoholic father. And I tell people, I loved him, but he was drunk the first 29 years of my life. He was diagnosed in, I don't know what year, probably 88, of cancer. He lived with it for 10 years. And 2 years before he passed in 98, he put the drink down just like that, went cold turkey, started attending church, started taking us to church, became probably one of the most profound Christians I've ever known. If only he had done it, years before. But I tell you what, he was just one of these people that he just emanated God to us. And that was a big thing. That was a big turning point in our lives. But we had never really been raised in church, I was a party person. I was the party girl back in the 80s, worked at a radio station, had a great time, did things I should not have done, a lot of relationships, a lot of regrets, some not so much, because I learned from my mistakes, but that pretty much was my upbringing. And in 2002, I decided I wanted to become a nurse. So I went to nursing school, and I've been a nurse since 2003. I've known it my whole life, but I died in 2019. I died on an operating table, and that was my defining moment. I was in a coma for 4 days, and when I came out of the coma, I was more than sure that there is a God and there is a heaven. I'm not, I don't pretend to be perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still struggling. I'm an honest person. I struggle with things in my daily life that kind of pull me toward not being a Christian, but I love being one. And my life has become peaceful. Like today, I did have a few moments of anger at work, but we all have those. We're human. But I find myself not getting angry like I used to. I find myself relying on prayer. There's been many a day that I've dropped to my knees and prayed, and I'm not ashamed of it. And that, I think, is the most profound thing about how my life has changed, is the fact that, used to be it wasn't so cool to be a Christian, but now I think it's the coolest thing in the world, Oh my goodness. My sister got me here in 2019. It was right after I had come out of the coma. I was still pretty ill when she brought me in. I was scared to death. I wasn't ready for religion. And she kept saying, come on, Missy, you'll love it here. So I started coming here then, off and on. I didn't keep it consistent. But I found that on the times that I wasn't coming here, things in my life just weren't going real well. And I became reliant on, getting a hold of you and Lauren, to pray and things like that. And that's how Victory has played a huge part, because I know I can reach out to you guys and you're right there, And that's why I brought in my test results. This was actually, I'd had a CT scan in July, I believe, of last summer. And they had found a rounded solid mass in my mid-left kidney with a blood flow. It measured 32 millimeters by 23 millimeters by 23 millimeters, and they said that it raised concern for malignancy. Solid appearing mass in the left kidney is concerning for malignancy. Follow-up is recommended. This was actually a test that I had done on the 13th of December. The one I had previously had shown the same thing, and it was a CT scan. This was actually an ultrasound, so it showed the same thing. I got in touch with you. You prayed for me immediately, and I went to work, and my friend's like, "Aren't you afraid?" And I said, "No, surprisingly, I'm not." And I wasn't. And she's like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I haven't even thought about it, because I just really figured it wasn't, any big deal. It was going to go away, and because I believed it would." Well, I went back on the 24th of December for another CT scan to follow up to see what exactly we were going to do about the situation. And it states, no suspicious solid renal mass. It disappeared. So there is my proof in the pudding right there. Yes. And it was God. That's all it could have been, was God. So victory has, I've become dependent on the power of prayer. I'm a firm believer in it. And you are a powerful prayer. And I love to listen to people pray. I love the fact that I can come down. I can get on my knees at the altar. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I love it here. It's like family. It's like when you walk in, there's just warmth. You see people of all ages. You see people from every walk of life. You see people with tattoos, with piercings. You see elderly people get up and dance when the worship team's going on. That to me is such a positive energy. It's just positive. I do it every day. My sister laughs. Actually, she cracks up because I witness everywhere I go. And as a matter of fact, I've got a few people at work that I'm telling, come to church with me. I put it on Facebook, come to church with me. I tell them, it doesn't matter if they're an addict. It doesn't matter where they've come from. They're not going to be judged when they walk in the door. And I told them, I sit on the right-hand side up front every Sunday. Come sit with me. You could sit right beside me. And that's how I got my friend Angie to start coming. And she loves it. She loves it. So, it's a good, healthy environment. And I witness to people about it all the time. Yeah. That's my thing. You need Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.